Dear all monks, all nuns, and all practitioners, today is Sunday, the 14th December 2025. We continue have a topic. Nirvana has no name. Nirvana has no name, but we can give it to many different names. And that's just the experience. That's just the skillful means. So all the skillful means from the Buddha, for us to get enlightened, to get to the Buddhahood state, to get to the original phase. So every explanation, all the terminology, all the names, is all skillful means. It's like a finger pointing to the moon, or it's a can. It's like gold piece of, all these expedient skillful means. So all the saying, all the explanation, whether it's unfavorable or favorable, this is all skillful means. For us to give rise to a thought of concerning about birth and death, so all the experience, all the skillful means for us to practice to get to the Nirvana state of Nirvana. So the Nirvana also has a meaning of non-birth, which is no birth, no death. So all mind, we create many bodies. We create all kind of things. So we create birth and death. So that's why there's a saying say, everything is created from the mind. So the proper Dharma from the Buddha to lead us back to our self-nature, to pure substance. So proper Dharma is actually non-dual. So all the saying, all the explanations is skillful means, and they are relative in the duality. So the practice maintaining doubt to go back to self-nature. So we can maintain the doubt. Actually, it will eradicate the self-attachment to break away from our attachment that we think that everything is real. If we have a thought, if we give rise to a thought of differentiate, we're more likely to have a thought of gaining. So we have to be careful when we're maintaining doubt, and we're thinking about the doubt. Sometimes we attach to a doubt, and we made it to become like what I try to say is more like a objective. So again, he mentioned about Nirvana. Nirvana has no form, no name. So in the beginning of our practice, when we choose the question for our practice, in the beginning it's more like it's still an objective objective. Due to our mind, our consciousness, we differentiate things. So that's why the patriarchs or the Buddha came up with this experience, skillful means, so that we can stop all these thoughts, stop all these differentiation thoughts. So he just given an analogy like our body. This body is a healthy condition or sick condition, not healthy condition. It's still one body. So if we practice, we can go back to our healthy body, healthy condition. But so Buddha, another he tried to give us is like a goal within, like in the soil. We need to purify the soil, then get to the goal, pure goal. So a Buddha is the Buddhahood is the He just mentioned that if we can practice to the point, to the Huato state, to the state of no thought arise, then that's the cause to get enlightenment. So now it's time for sharing, time for question.
Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Con kính bạch trên quý thầy, quý sư cô cùng toàn thể, quý bạn đồng tham. Thì mấy hôm nay con có nghe lời
Like Pháp Tuệ to speak. Nam mô Sakamuni Buddha. Dear masters, everyone. Last few days, I heard I read explanation from Bhakshun Master from the book. He pointed out the sickness, the problems, the obstacles from the practitioners. So when I read this, I feel I have fear. So like the master, you mentioned that we keep going after our consciousness. So then we may not keep the practice going. If we don't, it's like the master keeps saying, if we don't maintain the practice, then we'll more likely stay with the consciousness and keep differentiate things all the time.
Mặc dù phản ứng rồi cũng quay về công phu, nhưng mà ngài Bác Sơn cũng nói nếu mà
So after I read this explanation, these teachings, and
rất là khó tới cái chỗ mà chân thiết dụng, thì con kính thỉnh thầy từ bi khai thị thêm cho con. Dạ, Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni.
Cái lời của tổ sư tất cả đều là cảnh sách.
so she said, after she read this, she afraid, she feel like her practice is not there yet. So she asked the master to explain it further. So the teaching from the patriarchs is all is to tell us to be careful when we practice. Is to what he tried to say is like walking on a very sharp blade. So we have to be careful. If not, then we may end up hurting ourselves. So our consciousness is very, very sharp, just like a blade. So when we feel like we have good practice, and we may have big mistakes without knowing. Patriarchs keep mentioning about our mind that we have to take the practice as the most important. Patriarchs mentioned about the 8 consciousness. So he just jumped up to, there's a saying, say, the Bodhisattva afraid of the cause, but living beings, ordinary beings, afraid of the fruition. So the Bodhisattva try to, they be careful on whatever cause that they create. So Master just said, if we can maintain the doubt, then we more likely have less attachment. So for our practice, if we get to the Vato state, it has no flavor, no taste, no meaning. So this is really against ordinary mind. So how can we maintain this state of no taste, no flavor, no meaning? So back to the 6 pages mentioned about the 8. The 5th and the 6th, the 5th and the 8th is the fruition. The 6th and the 7th, they are the causes, the cause. So the 5th and the 8th is the effect. The 6th and the 7th, the cause. So ordinary being we're more likely to go after the consciousness, and we get attached to them. So everything we think is real. So everything we think, we contemplate, we think is real. And we attach this body, we think it's real. So when we maintain the doubt, everything, we let go of everything. We get to the state of not knowing. Then, so it will automatically get to the state of no differentiation. But if we give rise to a thought of not differentiate, that is also differentiation. So because of our habits, we keep differentiating things all the time. When we practice, we get to the doubt, we really want to differentiate it as well. That's why we always stay in the three round. So we need to practice to the point where we can let go of the objective. We're more likely to believe in our consciousness, but we never believe in our own mind, in our universal knowledge. So the patriarch's teaching, they always try to remind us, try to motivate us, try to tell us to keep the practice going. So the patriarchs mentioned, or the Buddha mentioned, our mistakes, whatever we create in the past. And until now, it's like full of empty space. So he just mentioned that the Buddha, the preachers, the Buddha said in the teaching that we have the same nose, that we breathe with the same nose, just like the enlightenment ones. But we never realize that. We never understand that. We keep going after the teaching and differentiate. So we right there, but we don't even notice. We always turn our back against it. So that's why we never get back to our home, our true home. So Master Wei just stated that we just need to turn around. And he also mentioned about us, that we never get to the state of inflow. We always go out, stay with the outflow thoughts. So if we keep attached to the self-attachment, we don't know when we're going to get back to our self-nature. So we need to be careful. So all these masters like Nguyake, like Hua, Xu Yun, they all have the skillful means to motivate us to so for us to practice, to get familiar with the practice. From the beginning, we'll have less acquaintance, but eventually we'll be acquaintance with the practice. Now we invite Kim Hwan to speak.
Nam mô Phật sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Con kính thưa thầy, kính thưa quý sư cô cùng toàn thể đại chúng ạ. Dạ thì thưa thầy, cho con trình cái công phu của mình. Thì trong cái thời gian gần đấy thì con cái công phu
Namo Sakamuni Buddha, dear Master, dear honors, and the rest of the assembly. I would like to present my practice. Lately, my practice, there's an obstacle about my practice. It's been a while, and I feel like I will let it be, and then I will ask. Before, I feel like when I encounter, interact with different conditions, and I feel like obstacles, encounter obstacles, and then I feel like when after I practice this Dharma, encounter this practice, I feel like I'm very fortunate. So there are times my practice, it seems like it's continuously.
Thì khi mà điều chỉnh công phu lại á, thì con cảm thấy là nó không bị một cái quá trình mà bị ức chế.
So whenever I feel like I have a successful on the practice, then I ask the master, and he said, what's he trying to say? Ask then the master tried to correct her. It's by saying the practice has to be normal, has to be just let the practice, let it be as if not having any thought come up.
Tại vì khi mà con làm việc á, hoặc là khi mà con suy nghĩ, hoặc là khi mà con có một cái deadline, hoặc là một cái việc học cho mình, hoặc là một cái công việc chẳng hạn, thì con luôn có một cái sự cố gắng là mình phải làm xong một cái công việc, cái tâm của mình muốn là phải hoàn thiện. Thì trong cái công phu thầy cũng dạy đó là một cái tập khí mà nó ảnh hưởng vào trong cái tu tập. Nhưng á, mà gần cái thời gian khi mà con, thì chính vì cái điều đó mà nó giúp cho con lúc nào con cũng hoàn thiện một cái công việc tốt nhất. Nhưng mà khi mà có thời gian gần đây thì mặc dù là cái công việc của con, cái deadline nó nhưng mà con vẫn cứ từ từ con mặc dù con cũng vẫn chưa làm, hay là
What's he trying to say?
Cái tâm con mặc dù con
Before she her practice, she put a lot into put a lot of effort into the practice, or put a lot of effort into the her job, whatever she's doing, her task. Try to complete the task, or try to complete the whatever she put out to do. And then the master keeps telling her, or try to tell her, not to have that thought, to have that mind. And so she, and lately, she feel like her practice, it become normal. It become less effort not put effort into the practice, but the practice is still going.
Cái cảnh giới hay là cái việc mà cái thực hành con không biết có đúng hay sai nữa. Con xin thầy chỉ và chỉnh sửa cho con để con để yên tâm hơn trong quá trình con tập. Xin cảm ơn thầy.
Cái công phu tu tập.
Does she feel like her practice now is normal, and she don't feel anything, but she don't know if this is right. So she asked the master to correct her. Master Laikwa mentioned the practice in the beginning is not that familiar, but it will get to the state of being familiar. So we have a purpose. We have the goal. If we attach to the practice, thinking that is real, then we put a lot of effort into it, then we lose a lot of energy. We become tired. So it's just like if we have so many tasks and we're thinking about it, then we'll feel tired. So our practice, we keep the practice going until that we don't have any concern, any thoughts in the mind. It should be light. It should be, don't feel heavy in the mind. It should be normal. Should be very normal. He said our practice should come out naturally. He just mentioned a story about 6 pages and the nuns. When the nuns tried to ask the 6 pages to explain the teaching from the Nirvana Sutra, and the 6 pages reply, he doesn't know how to read. And so the nuns are saying, "Oh, you don't even know how to read. How can you explain?" And then the 6 pages said, "The Yuli, which is the meaning, the real meaning, the wonderful meaning from the Buddhist teaching. It has nothing to do with the text, with the terminologies." So the master just said, the practice, if we keep it going, maintain the practice, the more we do that, the less attachment we will have, the less self-attachment, the less differentiation thoughts in our mind. So he jumped to say, just said, a practitioner is also an individual in the Sangha. So the practitioner should be stay within the community, the Sangha community, should not stay alone. So that the individual can maintain the practice well. So practitioner, a lot of times they say, oh, they don't have any attachment, they don't have self-attachment, but actually they do. So each one of us, if we have a thought, bring up a thought of taking Buddha and that seriously, we should know. So on the practice, it's just like gold. If we keep purifying the soil, the dust, eventually we'll get to the gold, pure gold. So our practice rely on the triple jewels, not just in this lifetime. We already create a lot of good deeds in the past. Now we encounter this proper Dharma. Even though we understand, we believe in it, but we may not give rise to a thought of taking Buddha and that seriously. So even though we realize that we have a lot of bad habits, but we just try to maintain the practice. So Master Whaley said, just keep the practice going, even though it's very small, like the size of the thread. Just try to maintain. So like our practice, when we try to keep the practice going in the practice, try to rely on others as well. Just like when we're driving, when we don't have any lights at night, we follow the cars in front of us who has lights. We try to follow the lights that the other cars signing ahead of us. So he tried to say, try to follow the teaching, follow the good advisor, Dharma friends. Try to be stay with the community so we can maintain the practice. So we can maintain the practice well. So when we encounter different types of condition, then they don't bother us. They don't affect us as much. They don't even affect us or anything. So did you understand what I tried to explain? So she said, my thought of taking Buddha and death not seriously enough. Time is up. Namo Sakamuni Buddha.